If God has called you to it, He will see you through it. Tune in to discover how God provided a financial miracle just in the nick of time. My name is Jason Bradley, and you're watching Urban Report. Hello and welcome to Urban Report. My guest today is Eric Camarillo, Salt Outreach Incorporated President. Welcome to Urban Report, Eric.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you back. You know, you're no stranger to the Dare to Dream family, to the Urban Report family, and all of our viewers and listeners. You've been coming here for a while, and each time that you come, there's so much that God has been doing in the wonderful ministry of SALT. So walk us through what SALT is all about.
Yeah, so SALT Outreach, SALT is an acronym for Service and Love Together. Mm-hmm. We run a mobile drop-in center for people experiencing homelessness. Most of the time, drop-in centers are buildings where someone that is experiencing homelessness can go to and get showers and laundry and mail and case management. So we've been able to provide these things in mobile form on wheels, and doing that, we've been able to get around a lot of red tape that different localities require for getting a building and doing this in a stationary form. And so we are right now serving about 200 people 5 days a week, and the need is continuing to grow, seeing a lot more women with children, sleeping in their cars. And so we offer 12 different services. We actually have a quick video that kind of highlights all the different things we do. It's actually of our friend Richie. He's experiencing homelessness right now, and he agreed to be in this video just to show people what exactly goes on at SALT. So
nice, awesome. Let's take a look at that video right now.
Hi, I'm Richie. This is how SALT has helped. Would
you like anything else?
Wow, you guys provide a lot of services. So let me ask you this, Eric. When the unsheltered comes to see SALT, where do they begin in the process?
Yeah, so when someone first comes to visit us, usually in the morning, around 8 o'clock, 7:30, that's when people start to line up at our registration window.
Okay.
We open at 9. So once we open at 9, they'll go in, they'll register for whatever service they need at the window, and it'll get them in queue for the different services: laundry, case management, mental health counseling, all the different showers. That'll all haircuts. So they'll be in queue for that. At the window as well, they also provide some direct services. So we have our mail services. We're doing mail for about 600 different people right now. And so, like, when they come to register, if next to their name it says John has 3 pieces of mail, then we'll go ahead and go back and get that mail for that person. We hand out hygiene products at the window. Wow. We also do clothing at the window as well, charging stations for safe charging. We have an outside charging station as well. And that's kind of, snack bags and things like that we'll provide right there at the window. So we provide some of that there, but really get them in queue. They wait until their turn, and then we call them up and they check in. Nice. When they check in, then we get them to where they need to go. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Do you offer some kind of job placement service, or how's that work?
So our case management team does help with job-related things. So, like, we had someone come, and an older gentleman that just didn't know how to work a computer well, didn't know how to apply for a job online, didn't know how to build a resume. So they helped him with that. And 2 days later, he comes back in a uniform, getting paid, I think it was $19 an hour.
Wow.
And so, like, some people just need a little help like that. We also have a nonprofit job agency that's on site.
Okay.
So we can refer right over to them, and their starting wage, I think, is $14.50 an hour. So they take people with records, and they also take people that are experiencing homelessness. So that's a great partner to have on site to help with that.
That's tremendous. Do you ever see anyone that comes back after they've gone through the services? I know you explained the $19 an hour. That's one example, but what are some other examples of people who have been helped by SALT, who have come back to say, hey, look, I really appreciate what SALT has done for me and all of that. Do you get that?
We do, yeah. I remember one that sticks out to me right now is I remember a man that ended up getting moved into housing, would come to us for services a lot. Just to kind of give you some context, from August of 2020 through March of 2022, we served roughly about 5,000 different people with over 250,000 different services and resources. And about 1,050 of those people during that time period, we were involved in helping to get them housed. One gentleman came back, and he came back in tears. He's like, hey, just want to let you know, I'm in housing now. Wow. I just want to thank you for everything you guys have done to help support me. It does happen, a good amount. We have some people someone else that got moved into housing, and they came back just to thank us, know. Yeah. And we try to follow up we try to continue to keep up with them while they get moved into housing, And then some people aren't able to come back, so, like, sometimes we have to go to them. Like, we have someone who started coming to us in 2020 with mobility. She had some mobility issues. She's in a wheelchair. And, when we started our case management program in 2021, she started to see them, and, there was some setbacks here and there, but for the most part, our case management team, after about a year or so of working with her, were able to get her Social Security benefits approved, Medicaid approved, and now she's in assisted living, all 3 meals taken care of, roof over her head.
Wow.
But it was 2 years.
Yeah.
And she's not able to come back because of her mobility issues,
Okay.
but we were able to go to her and say, hey, how are things going, and so that's been a blessing,
Absolutely.
Seeing those things happen.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that you just mentioned that it was 2 years, but what that says is that SALT stays with you. SALT stays the course. And so throughout the process, you guys are there to assist in multiple different facets, like lives are being transformed. I think about Pat. Share a little bit about Pat's story, because that was a very, very powerful story.
So Patrick was someone that came to us he came for showers at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. And he was so grateful for the showers that he wanted to clean the shower after each person that came. And so we're like, yeah, that's great, you know, yeah, come and volunteer with us. And he became part of the family. We celebrated his birthday with him. We really got to know him on a personal level.
Yeah.
And in 2020, we really saw a dramatic growth spurt. You know, God really infused some funding. We grew our fundraising by 4 times that year. And we were able to hire some staff around COVID, and it was just natural to hire Patrick. So we hired him, and about 3 months later, he started to limp, and we didn't know what that was about. We were like, "Hey, Pat, you need to get that checked out." And he was like, "Oh no, I'm good." But you know, eventually the pain became too much, and so we took him to the hospital, and the doctor said he only had a few weeks to live. He was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. It had metastasized and spread to his hip, and that's why he was limping. And so we had been saving up some money to get him into, you know, we had ended his homelessness when we hired him temporarily. We were going to get him into his own place, but instead we used that money to get him into like a hotel in downtown Orlando. And you know, his last request in that hotel room was he wanted to be baptized. And so we brought a pastor over. The pastor baptized him in the bathtub of that room. And a week later, he moved to hospice. My wife and I met with him, prayed with him, talked with him, and the next morning he passed away. But you know we'll see him again in heaven with a brand new body, and that's encouraging for us.
Amen.
And you know, we believe that relationship is key to help end homelessness. You know, and like I mentioned with the woman earlier, 2 years it took, right? Well, of the 1,050 that we've been involved in helping to end their homelessness, we found that over half of them were coming to us 2 or 3 times a week.
Wow.
And as the frequency of visits to us went down, successful housing outcomes also went down. So what that tells us is relationship is key to ending homelessness, because the more you visit us, the more likely you move into housing.
Yes.
So we were even able to back that up with data, and that's why we believe the model is solid, and God really inspired and did something here that we think can be duplicated all over, you know, and make a difference all over. Yeah,
absolutely. And speaking of that, duplicating that model, you also have what is it, an outpost?
Yeah. So we have what we call SALT outposts, where you know, it looks different in the state of Florida and outside the state. But in the state of Florida, we'll actually we have an outpost in Tampa.
Nice.
We have another outpost in Daytona. And so the church will make a donation every month, and it'll be enough to bring out our trailer. We'll bring out all the supplies. All the church has to do is bring out their people and organize the outreach, but we provide that equipment for them to be able to help in a higher capacity. And the goal is for them to ultimately have their own trailer.
Yes.
So like, you know, and eventually become like a duplication of what we got going on in Orlando. And so that's been exciting. Out of the state of Florida, we have what we call an SOS weekend. We call it our season of service weekend, where people can request us to come.
Nice.
You know, they make a set donation, and we come out there. We do a series of sermons on service. We inspire the church and really show them what SALT has been doing in the community here in Orlando. And then on Sunday, we present some data that we got from the area on the gaps in serving the unsheltered. And we do a workshop to help people duplicate what we're doing, but taking out all the mistakes we made, you know.
Nice.
And that way we can really empower the church to duplicate it. And we have one in San Francisco right now.
I love it.
And that's been exciting. So to see that grow, you know, they've already raised $40,000 for their shower trailer. You know, they've been doing the outreach once a month. You know, so things are moving, so that's exciting.
Yeah, that's really good. I want to transition a little bit. I mean, SALT is all about practical Christianity, so the evangelism component is there, but talk to us about the specific evangelism efforts that take place at SALT.
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have 2 outreach pastors right now, Pastor Wilfredo and Pastor Joffrey. And so what they do is we launched our spiritual care program in March of 2021. And they do church service there for them. A lot of our friends don't feel comfortable going into a church, or they feel or maybe there are churches that don't know how to handle someone that's experiencing homelessness in their congregation.
Gotcha.
And so we bring church to them, you know, and they do a message, they do worship, and that's been really great, you know. And we've even been able to take them to church on Saturday, the different churches. So
Nice.
you know, I know Pastor Wilfredo shared a story with me one time where the person was afraid that they were going to be too underdressed. So Pastor Wilfredo, he dressed down. He wore shorts, wore a T-shirt, a tie-dye T-shirt, wore you know, some gym shoes.
Yes.
And you know, when our friend saw him, he was like, man, and I was worried that people were going to look at me, but look at you, you know. And he's like, you know, he did it purposely so that the looks will go to him.
Absolutely.
You know, and not that should even be happening in
It
churches.
shouldn't.
But you know,
Yeah.
you know, a church is a hospital for sinners,
It
right?
is.
So we just want to be careful and guard the heart of that person.
That's right.
So that was a huge thing. Another thing is they do group Bible studies 4 times a week.
Wow.
So they'll do group Bible studies on different topics, and they do one-on-one Bible studies with people. And one of the key things they do is they actually they help with the outreach efforts. So they'll be doing showers, they'll be doing laundry. They'll be registering people. They'll even clean the toilets after someone uses them.
Wow.
And it brings the pastoral figure down, and they feel like they can relate to this
Yes.
pastor and get to and really connect with this pastor. And they see pastoral ministry or pastor in a different light.
Yes.
And they call them their pastor. You
Oh,
know?
that's awesome.
And so you know, that's really exciting. You know, to see that. And we just wanted to make sure that the spiritual effort didn't get put in the back burner, because
sure.
when you have an organization with so many moving parts, I mean, now we have 35 employees, you know, we're serving 200 people a day. It's tough, but to have people spearheading that spiritual effort, there's no way it'll fall to the back burner. It's always going to be at the forefront with SALT. So
Yeah.
so that's a key move.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Now, I know that anytime we step out and we do something for God, there's always going to be opposition. You and SALT faced some challenges. Tell our viewers about the challenge that you faced.
Yeah, so we faced a lot of challenges over the years. One of the main challenges, well, you know, before I even get to that, you know, one challenge I think that would encourage people is when we were when we started our mobile drop-in center. We started with just 5 services in 2018. Before that, you know, we started in 2011. We're doing food shares, you know, kind of slowly growing, creating relationship. But in 2018 is when we really started the mobile drop-in center concept. And so we were operating once a month doing that, then in 2019, twice a month. And we were convinced in 2019 that God had put in our heart to operate 3 days a week. And we knew that would take hundreds of thousands of dollars to make that happen, you know.
Yeah.
And so especially with the need growing so much. So we would present these proposals to these different leaders and local areas, and finally, you know, we get to the top and then get rejected, you know. And so, but you know what? We said, you know, that's not going to stop us. We're going to keep going. And so we're like, we know God put it in our heart to operate at least 3 days a week. And so we're just going to keep slowly moving forward, slowly building up to that. So 2020 came, and when COVID hit, we were operating 3 days a month at that time, 3-4 times a month. And the people we presented to came back to us and said, hey, you know what? Let's revisit those proposals.
Yes.
You know, and we went from operating 3 days a month to now 3 days a week.
Wow.
And so God was preparing us. But if we did not prepare for that time, if we had gotten discouraged and not continued to move forward on what God had put in our heart, then we wouldn't have been ready to receive that blessing.
Yes.
And we would have totally missed out. I might not even be here today in front of you, you know? So I just wanted to share that because I believe we need to make sure that we have, if God has put something on our heart, that we're persistent.
Yes.
You know, and then so recently, kind of going to what you were saying, we had a grant for $700,000 that was promised to us. It was the last bit of COVID funding. We're supposed to get mid-August. It got delayed, and so we weren't going to receive it till January. That money was supposed to help us get through the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And so at that time in mid-August, we looked at our cash flow. We wouldn't have made it past the middle of September. So we literally would have had to either shut down from October to December, where thousands of people would not get services, especially during the holidays and the winter, or we could just try to move forward in faith and ask God to help us raise the money we need. And so this is when we launched a video at that time. And so I will have that video here.
Oh, beautiful.
To play for you.
We need to check it out. But I think that we're going to see, though, that grants are a beautiful thing, but we can't always rely on them.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at that video right now.
Hello, everybody. This is Eric Camarillo from SALT Outreach, and we need your help. A grant that we were expecting to receive at about this time has been delayed to the beginning of January. What that means is that we are asking for your help to provide the funding needed to continue operations until we start to receive that grant. So we are launching the End of Summer SALT fundraiser. Our original goal was to raise $150,000 between now and the end of September, but due to a generous donor and a matching grant, every dollar you donate will be tripled up to $200,000. So we are raising our goal to $200,000 between now and the end of September. Together with your help and prayers, we believe we can reach this goal. While we are making certain adjustments on services and resources we offer to save money during this time, we want it to be minimal. Just last month, we saw 250 new people experiencing homelessness to our services, and now, this month, we are projected to see even more than that. We thank you for everything you have already done to support SALT. And studying the data, we found that from August 2020 through March 2022, we were involved in helping end homelessness for over 1,000 people through a coordinated community effort. We also found that the more frequently someone visited our services, the more likely they would move into housing. Over 50% of that 1,000 were visiting us at least 2 or 3 times per week. We also found on average those 1,000 people each received at least 4 showers, 5 loads of laundry, 1 haircut, and 2 case management appointments. We appreciate all that you have done to make this possible, because it would not have been possible without you. To donate to this campaign, you could text SummerSalt to 44321, or you can donate through any of these other methods. Thank you, and keep this all in prayer. We know with God's help, He will provide even more than we are asking for. Talk to you soon, and don't ever hesitate to reach out to me.
Wow. Now, you recorded that a little while ago. What happened after that?
So I think it was a day or two after we realized what was happening, I called up a donor, and I was like, hey, this is a mentor kind of as well, and so I kind of just told her what was going on, and she's like, you know what, Eric, I'll match up to $200,000 of every dollar given until the end of September. I'm like,
wow,
what? it caught me totally off guard. And after that, because I was really, it was one of the most trying times for me, because now, we have 35 staff members, we have we have payroll to make, we have clients relying on us for services. It was a lot of pressure I felt on my shoulders. I didn't need to feel that, because God will take that pressure away.
Absolutely.
And He started to with this donation. I'm like, okay, God, you're doing something here,
Yeah.
And then another grant was going to match as well, so it was a triple match opportunity, and over 300 donors came together and donated $120,000. That's getting triple matched. So now we were able to get through the rest of we're going to be able to get through the rest of the year, and not have to worry about shutting down.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. But the grants, we definitely learned a lesson. I think government grants are unpredictable, and this is the last bit, because this is COVID money, So we're really hoping to create a steady stream of income through donors, giving on a monthly basis. Yeah.
Let's transition into the needs of SALT. What are some of the needs of your organization?
So definitely the biggest need right now, we know for sure, this $700,000 grant is coming throughout the year in 2023. But after that, we will no longer have any grants, any substantial grants from the government, and we prefer it that way, you know. But the biggest need we have right now is people to give on a monthly basis, because that helps us know exactly what's going to come in, and their dollars make such a difference. I mean, you know, we have 3ABN viewers and Dare to Dream viewers that are donating right now. We have someone donating $25 a month. Another person's doing $100 a month. You know, we have people doing $250 a month, and another person doing $1,000 a month. You know, from you know, outside different source. So that's really a key need right now. The main need. Yeah,
absolutely. How does somebody go about donating? Like, what is your website where they can go and donate?
So they would have to go to saltoutreach.org/donate.
Okay.
And they'll see different options there to become a monthly donor. We have different levels for the monthly donors as well. And I mean, the impact is, you know, we've grown more efficient with our funds.
Yes.
You know, we're able to do 13 showers for just $25.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
13 showers for just $25.
$25, yeah. So we're you know, the money will go a long way to making a difference and changing lives.
I know some people still like to use snail mail, we call it. It's just the traditional mailing a letter and all of that stuff, or mailing a check in this case. So we're going to put up your address page and take a look at that and tell us how we can donate.
Okay, yeah. So if you're going to send a check, you would send it to SALT Outreach. The address is office number 15, 2507 Investors Row, Suite 100, Orlando, Florida 32837. Our phone number is 866-237-2589. And our website, again, is saltoutreach.org. And my email, if you want to reach me, is eric, E-R-I-C, @saltoutreach.org.
Yes, yes. I know that a lot of our viewers and listeners will continue to support the wonderful ministry of SALT. Every time that you come to 3ABN and you're on Urban Report or you're doing a 3ABN Today program, we see the growth that has been taking place. Real quick, what's one thing you want in the future for SALT?
Our vision is that every metropolitan area has a drop-in center for people experiencing homelessness, even if it's not us. You know, but if we can do that in every metropolitan area, then every person experiencing homelessness can have their basic needs met. And this is Christ's method, you know, and this is the way we can reach souls for the kingdom, you know.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming on and sharing what's on your heart, sharing about the wonderful ministry of SALT. You have big goals, big plans for SALT, and we serve an even bigger God that can provide for those goals, as He has done before in the past.
Yes.
I hope that you've been encouraged, and I hope that you'll get involved with the ministry of SALT. Until next time, God bless you.